Alright, so today let's talk about Samaritan, which is the newest Sylvester Stallone movie. And it's interesting. It's a superhero movie for Stallone, and I know we've had that before, or comic book movie with like Judge Dredd. And you could say The Expendables is basically like an action superhero movie because those guys are invincible in those movies. But this just came out a couple days ago on Amazon Prime, and I was interested to see Samaritan. I do really dig Sylvester Stallone movies. I haven't seen all of them, but I really do like the ones that I've seen him. Of course, Rocky and Rambo, Copland. I think he's a great actor. I really enjoy his stuff. But Samaritan is about a kid who finds an older man who Sylvester Stallone plays and thinks he might be the Samaritan, the hero from 20 years ago that stopped the bad guy Nemesis. And the movie is pretty much about these two, the kid and the Samaritan guy, where they have this back and forth kind of camaraderie where they have to stop these people in this futuristic city. Now, looking at this movie, it's an MGM movie. And looking at this, I thought it was funny because this kind of reminded me of RoboCop in terms of I'm going to say gritty with air quotes, because this movie feels like an old school MGM thriller. And I do like that. It reminded me of like RoboCop or Child's Play or something like that in terms of the look. But it doesn't look gritty like it did in the 80s. But it still looks good. And that's hard to explain because this doesn't have the authenticity of something filmed in the 80s. But I like that they replicated that. And I felt like the movie looked like it was something sort of out of that kind of decade. Because I do like gritty MGM thrillers. And I think that it's cool to see that kind of make a slight comeback with this. Like I said, it's obviously a 2022 movie, and it's obviously filmed in 2022. But it really looked cool, and I did enjoy that part about it, the aesthetic. I liked the opening a lot. It was this cool visual, cel-shaded aesthetic, and I know I've seen that in other comic book superhero movies before, but I thought it was fine here. I thought the relationship between Sylvester Stallone and the kid was pretty solid, and it felt like an 80s thriller, 80s action thriller, where like it's gritty, but also it's got this relationship between an older person and a kid, and it just reminded me of, again, one of those movies out of the 80s. There's a thing that happens in this movie that I expected to happen, and I won't say what it is. And I thought it didn't really deter from the movie for me, but there is a thing that happens where you look at this movie as a whole, and then something happens, and you're like, oh, that's interesting that they went this route, even though I kind of expected they would go this route. Again, not saying anything about that. I want to keep it spoiler-free. If you have not seen Samaritan, which probably a lot of people haven't, I bet a good amount of people have, but it's just been out for like a week, so I like that. I thought it was funny seeing that little kid again who is from Hannah Montana, who plays this gang member. I thought that was pretty funny. Seeing that little short actor back again on film is interesting because I know he's been in other stuff, but I haven't seen anything else, I don't think, with him in it. But besides that, I thought it was pretty entertaining. I thought it served the movie served fine in terms of the characters, in terms of the visuals. It's not something that I'm going to really remember per se, but I thought it was fun enough, and I just enjoy the Sylvester Stallone movie, so I wanted to see this one just because of him, and it's solid. It's definitely not bad, but it's not great. It's totally fine. Some cool throwbacks to the 80s MGM thrillers I think is cool, and I do enjoy that. But like I said, it's definitely a 2022 movie. But it was fun and enjoyable. I thought it had some memorable things about it, even though it's slightly just fine. Like I said, it's not bad, but it's not great. It's totally in the middle. It's totally serviceable. So yeah, pretty much all I could say about Samaritan. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.